Hey guys, it's Dan and Sean here from Clover Tactical. We wanted to thank you guys for watching the video and kind of give you guys some background. This is our first video, so we're going to ask for a lot of leeway. Lots of leeway on this. We filmed it on a phone, so that we were supposed to have a camera and didn't end up getting one. But we still wanted to get you guys the video and get this review out to you guys. Hopefully a few of you guys can find this weapon system. Daniel Defense, when we called them, said they had released about 300 of these to some of their biggest buyers. And it is a very cool system, and you can get it at a reasonable price compared to what you'd have to pay if you bought all the parts separately. So I hope you guys enjoy the review, and we had a lot of fun going out and shooting it, and we'll have some more reviews coming. But hopefully we do a little bit better. I think that is probably one of our biggest failures on this. So hope you guys enjoy the video.
Hey everybody, and welcome to the channel. This is Clover Tactical's first weapon review of the DDM4V7. This is a custom model. They released about 300 of these around Black Friday of 2018. It's very similar to the other V7s that you'll see from Daniel Defense, obviously great weapons. And this one has a few modifications to it that didn't come on the standard V7s. This one comes with the Gen 2 compensator from Daniel Defense, as well as the SD 3G Geisley trigger and the Radiant LT charging handle. We've added some flip-up sights from Magpul and a SIG Romeo 4M optic, as well as a Magpul hand stop. Defense has their proprietary buttstock and hand grip now, so the pistol grip on it. So I'm a big fan, honestly, of their buttstock. There's no perfect buttstock that I've used. I like it. It's got a little bit of a flare to it, so you've got a nice cheek weld to put your cheek on while you're firing, as well as it's kind of got some texture there, so it's got a good grip. The one thing I'm not a huge fan of with their buttstocks is that if you're running a sling system, maybe you're in a car or whatever, and you want to put a band around it, it doesn't work well with that. I've done it before, but I've seen guys tuck it, I've seen guys do some other stuff. It's just not something that this buttstock does really well with. It holds up well. I've had no issues with any of my Daniel Defense rifles having a problem there. Same thing with the pistol grip. Little bit of a flare down there underneath the trigger. But the one thing I will say is Magpul typically has a more of a straight up pistol style grip where these lean forward. Ergonomically, that I've heard that's actually better, but I tend to like the Magpul grips a little bit better, frankly. So with this, the trigger in this is just phenomenal. Obviously, we've already checked it, but the trigger in this is just beautiful. It's got a nice soft pull. I've seen it go. I've seen a couple different guys talk about that particular trigger system, and they say it's about 3 pounds. As you guys can see, we fired in the rain today, and it held up very well. The Cerakote, so this particular model, since they only made 300 of them, you can see it's got the black here, black buttstock, black pistol grip, but it's got their Mil-Spec Plus, is what they call it. Obviously, that's a Mil-Spec now is kind of one of those things that's just a little bit varied, but kind of a brown Cerakote finish on it. So obviously with these Magpul flip-up sights, I prefer fixed iron sights, but we went with a Magpul for this particular model just due to some of the things that we put on here. We also have a SIG Romeo M4, or a 4M, I'm sorry, optic on here, which we'll also talk through a little bit. Today was our first day running this particular optic, and we had some thoughts on it. It did all right during our shooting. So the M-LOK rail system that comes on this weapon, on the V7s overall, is awesome. It's a lot lighter weight than you'd see out of the Picatinny systems. I prefer a little bit heavier gun at times if I'm shooting long range, but this M-LOK system is great. The weapon came with some heat shields, M-LOK heat shields. They worked very well, had no problems holding it. I wore gloves during my shooting today, so maybe that helped a little bit, but I definitely didn't feel a bunch of heat coming off this, and I ran probably 500 rounds through it today total. We put a Magpul hand stop front on it. It's a little kit that Magpul makes, very, very nice. It provides a good good grip for a C-clamp if you're doing some shooting like that. We were not doing any 3-gun type shooting. So the optic that we ran today during our shooting was the Romeo 4M from SIG. I know they've actually, I believe they discontinued this particular optic. They switched it to the 4 Tango. I think the FBI picked it up as a their in-house optic. But I think that this particular optic has some pluses and minuses. Very clear reticle. Shot very well. Obviously, we haven't had a chance to check if it will hold 0. We're going to run it through its paces and see how well it holds. But through the 500 rounds we put through it today, there were no issues, and you wouldn't expect something out of an optic around this price point. I think you can get them for around $250, which is pretty good. I think they started around $600 when they first came out. I will say that there are we did have some issues with, there's these little covers that came with the SIG. They came loose with 500 rounds of shooting. Obviously you can see this is not sticking very well. And I had some problems, especially once it got a little bit warm shooting with that sticking. I guess that's to be expected. It does come with a detachable honeycomb front, which we did put on. It came loose as well during the shooting. You can put some Loctite on there. The only problem with that is then you have the issue of removing that if you ever do want to switch back to, these both unscrew. So if you want to switch back to the original guards on it, you're going to have to break that Loctite off, which could be a problem. Generally this weapon shot very well, had no issues out of it. You wouldn't expect something from Daniel Defense to have any issues with only 500 rounds through it. It's not even broken in at this point, honestly. Their bolt carrier group held up well. The only critique I would have, and this is something that I've noticed on a lot of their weapons, is that the safety selector is plastic. It is ambidextrous, so that's a positive. It really should be for a weapon at this price point, but the safety selector being plastic is a problem. It can be hard to manipulate with gloves, so that's something to keep in mind. This is probably something a lot of guys will use for 3-gun. It can be modified, I think, a little bit to make it a good tactical shooting weapon, but generally this weapon did very well today. Everything is very clean, held up well, and we will put it through some more paces and do another review probably to follow up with you guys on how it went.
All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. We just wanted to thank you guys again for watching and staying patient with us. I'm sure some of the comments below will be absolutely
good
brutal.
or bad. We need the help.
We need help on the review section, so I'm sure we'll get plenty of absolutely brutal comments, which we really deserve probably. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the review, got something out of it, and we had a lot of fun making it. We'll be making the 19X review next week or the week after, hopefully. So, and hope you guys enjoy that as well. Until then, guys, stay safe.